Hello class. So today's lesson is present continuous. Have you ever heard of present continuous before? When and why do we have to use present continuous? Alright, so let's find out together. The usage of present continuous. So when we want to use present continuous, when we want to talk about something that is happening now. Something that is happening now. Well, let's look at the example together. She is wearing a hat. She is wearing a hat. So you can picture a woman is wearing a hat. Alright? So that is happening now, okay? She is wearing a hat. Or another example is, I'm speaking English now. I'm speaking English now. So what am I doing now? I am speaking English now. Okay? So something that is happening now. Very simple. Okay? So when you see it, it's happening right now. That is present continuous. Okay. Alright. So when we want to use present continuous, when we want to talk about temporary event. Temporary event. What does that mean? So it means an action or an event that is not lasted forever. It's just a temporary. It's just a short term. So let's take a look at the example together. He is studying a new language at the moment. He is studying a new language at the moment. So what is he doing? He is studying a new language. So he's just studying a new language for a short period of time, for just a short term. So it is temporary. Do you understand? Alright. And another example is, we are staying at a hotel. We are staying at a hotel. Okay? So we are staying at a hotel. We are staying here for just a short time. So it's not forever, okay? It's not permanent. So this is for present continuous when we want to talk about temporary event. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Alright. Lastly, the usage of present continuous is future arrangement. Future arrangement. What does arrangement mean? Why do we have to use the word future arrangement but not future plan? Alright, so the keyword arrangement mean preparation or mean plan, okay? But this plan is involved with you and other people. And other people and you know about that plan together. Do you understand at this point? Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at the example together. When we arrive at the airport, we are taking a private car direct to the hotel. When we arrive at the airport, we are taking a private car direct to the hotel. So with the clause when we arrive at the airport, it is future. Is it happening now? It is not happening now, but it will be in the future. And with the clause that said we are taking a private car direct to the hotel. For that said, in this sentence, which means we have booked the private car already. Or that private car belonged to a friend of us. And then we talk, we discuss, and we ask that friend to pick us up on that day. Okay? So we and a friend know about the arrangement, know about the plan. So we all know about that plan together, okay? So we know the arrangement that there will be someone pick us up when we arrive at the airport. Does that make sense? So this means we knew that when we arrive at the airport, we will drive a car by someone that pick us up, that we have booked and we have discussed with that person, and that person already know about that arrangement as well. Are you clear with that? Alright. Another example is, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? And the answer is, I am playing football with my friends. I'm playing football with my friends. So, for this sentence, which means it's not happening now, it means it's a future arrangement. So, which means you and your friends are playing football on that day, and you have discussed with your friend, and your friend know about it, and you know about that arrangement. So, this is why we call this future arrangement. Okay? Alright. So that's all for when and why do we have to use present continuous. Alright. So after we know when and why do we have to use present continuous, we have to know how to use present continuous. Okay. So here comes structure of present continuous. First of all, it is affirmative form or positive form, right? So it is started with subject followed by am or is or are, and then followed by verb plus ing and then plus object. Okay? Alright. And verb to be, there are am, is, and are. Okay? Am, you can use am only with the pronoun I. Alright? But for is, you can use with pronoun he, she, or it, and singular noun. Okay? For is, you use with pronoun he, she, it, and singular noun. But for are, you use with pronoun you, we, they, and plural noun. Okay? So are, pronoun you, we, they, and plural noun. Okay, so you need to remember that. For example, Monica is eating right now. Okay? So over here we can picture that she is eating right now, right? She picked up a spoon and she chewing. That is called present continuous, okay? But why over here is, right? We use is here because Monica is a singular noun. That is why, okay? So it started with subject Monica, followed by verb to be is, and then followed by verb eat, plus ing. So you add ing at the end of that verb. So become eating, right? And then Monica is eating right now. And right now is just a time expression to show that it is present continuous. Okay? Monica is eating right now. Do you understand? Alright, great. So let's move on to another structures of present continuous. It is negative form. Negative form. Alright, so for negative form, it starts with subject and then followed by am not, or is not, or are not, and followed by verb that need to add ing at the end of that verb, and followed by object. Okay? And isn't, okay? Isn't is short for is not. So you can use either one of them. Both of them are correct. Okay? And aren't is just short for are not. Are not. Okay? So you can use either one of them. And both of them are correct as well. Alright. So let's look at the example together. Joey and Ross aren't sleeping. Joey and Ross aren't sleeping. Okay? The reason over here is aren't or are not because why? Because the subject is plural nouns. Joey and Ross, there's two peoples in this sentence, okay? So it needs to be aren't or are not because of the negative form, okay? So Joey and Ross is a subject and followed by aren't or are not, and then followed by verb ing, right? Sleeping, you add ing at the end of that verb. Yes, no question, okay? So we know already that yes, no question is a question that you need to answer yes or no. Alright, so let's look at the structure together. So it starts with am or is or are, and then followed by subject, and then followed by verb add ing at the end of that verb, right? And then followed by object and then question mark, okay? And you have to remember that am, is, are start at the very beginning at the sentence, so the first syllable or the first letter need to be capitalized, right? Okay, so it's like am, okay, is or are followed by subject and then verb plus ing and then object question mark, okay? Alright, and then the answer is either yes or no. For yes, it starts with yes and followed by comma and then subject and then followed by am or is or are. For no, start with no, comma, subject followed by am not, or is not, or are not, or it could be isn't or aren't. So either one of them are correct, right? Alright, so let's look at the example together. Are you going to the concert tonight? Are you going to the concert tonight? Alright, and the answer is either yes, yes I am. Either no, no am not. Or no I am not. Okay? It's very simple. So the question is either yes or no. So let's look at the structure together. Are, and then followed by subject, which is you, and then followed by the verb go, but need to add ing, right? So it becomes going to the concert tonight, alright? It could be an object, right? And the answer is yes, and then comma, and then the subject I, and followed by am. Or no, comma, followed by am not, okay? Another types of question of present continuous is WA question. So WA question, the structure is it starts with the WA question and followed by am or is or are, and then followed by subject and then followed by verb plus ing, and then followed by object and then question mark, okay? So the WA question followed by am, is, are, and then subjects and then verb ing and then object and question mark, okay? Okay, so let's look at the example together. What is she doing? What is she doing? Okay, so the question is start with WA question of what, right? And then followed by verb to be is, and then followed by subject she, and then followed by the verb plus ing, which is doing, okay? Alright, so why this question we use is? Because is used with what? The pronoun she, right? Yes. So, and when you answer the WA question, you need to answer in a affirmative form, yes. So the answer is she's listening to music. She's listening to music. Alright, so over here, right, you was like, why is she's? Why is not she is? So for this, it is just very simple. You can either say she is or she's. So both of them are correct. Alright, you can either use one of them. Okay,